Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about an interesting subject. Why, spiritually speaking, it might actually be a gift when we have an absent parent. Stay tuned. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button, the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Today, a little bit of a difficult subject, but necessary. I'm going to go over 3 real reasons that, in my opinion, it could be an actual gift that you have an absent parent. Now, before you get mad at me for saying that, because listen, let me validate this. Being abandoned by a parent, or having an emotionally unavailable parent, or having an emotionally neglecting parent, or an emotionally immature parent is an incredibly painful and wounding experience. It creates inner child wounds, it creates emotional wounds, and it creates later in life relational wounds. So I know all that, and I'm not going to discard any of that. I've been through it. And this is what I want to tell you from sitting where I am today. There has been some gifts. And I want to explain, I just got off my monthly membership call with the Truth Room, and the topic was father wounds today. I mean, it's just this collective consciousness that we always have the same thing at the same time with all these beautiful people from around the world, and I just love the synchronicity. So I wanted to share because the insights were dropping. I mean, it was just crazy. And the first thing I want to say is, we were talking about how a lot of highly sensitive people specifically, I'm going to explain this, often grow up in families with this dynamic. And what I've learned through my journey is it's actually meant to be. Because highly sensitive people are really kind of tethered to a spiritual plane, but anchored in reality sometimes. And people who grow up with wonderful human families, right, who they get along with, they feel like, the family crest, all these great things. A lot of times that happens because their purpose is in this world. Their purpose is to be a doctor, a lawyer, something that, let's be real, I can't be a freaking CPA. I need to hire people to do my taxes. I need to go to the doctor and the dentist and do all those things. I can't do that shit. I'm up here doing spiritual stuff to bring that into a new reality when their work is also spiritual, but it's anchored in here. Mine's anchored up there, bringing us a little higher, right? So we need both. I couldn't function without those people that had great families. And I'm not saying they all did, but hopefully you get my point. But a lot of people that have more of a spiritual, let's say, purpose are asked to lift up to a higher love, which we all need, by the way. But this is what I mean. The contrast happened early to get it sooner, to find your purpose. Everybody needs this lesson, but that's what happened to many of us because we didn't have the parent we needed. What I found in my journey is I found the one that was always there, that's actually the truth of who we are. Father, Mother, God, the universe, source energy is your true parents. I say this because your real parents are wounded humans, but when we're children, we think our parents are God. And if our parents were wonderful, that's fine. Now, one unfortunate thing that happens a lot of that time, though, is a lot of older people come to me and say, I became this because my mom wanted me to. What my client was saying in the group today is, I know in a past life, this was so cool. I hope she doesn't get mad at me for sharing. I don't think so. I'll ask permission before I post this. In a past life, she knew that she lived for her dad because they were so close and she was so in love with him. In this life, not close with dad because she needed to do her purpose, not dad's. And I thought that was really interesting. I also think it's really interesting that when we have this contrast of a family, it's oftentimes, if you look how everything happens for us, not to us, it's oftentimes because your soul came to this world saying, if I have that support, I'll never do this. I'll never go out there. I'll never have to seek for something higher to understand God to save me from this pain, right? So sometimes we can thank our family for giving us all that pain so we could find our purpose. And if you're not in your purpose yet, this is what I tell you. Time to do some emotional healing work because we get stuck in that human perspective of I'm unworthy of my family. I'm undeserving. I'm unlovable. That's the story that society and conditioning has made us think because we're just looking here. We're not looking up here. When we graduate to this higher perspective, which you're able to do right now, we can lift up and see that, oh my goodness, that story is not true. The truth is, my purpose was perfect for me. If I would have had all those things, I would have never searched here. I know that's hard to hear until you're there, but you're getting there or you wouldn't be watching this video. The second thing is I want to tell you, sometimes rejection is God's protection. If you don't have contact with one of your parents, it might be a damn gift. Because if you had contact with someone that was constantly disappointing you, constantly not showing up for you, constantly rewounding you, you wouldn't be able to heal into you. So take it as a temporary gift that person, that toxic individual, is not in your vortex. Hard to say, but really good when you get it in there deep. Really let that sink in. And notice also, I was telling my client today, she said, Candace, my dad has never been able to receive my love, but I've been the one that's always loved him. I said, oh, I can relate. I said, what's interesting about that is your dad can't receive your love because your dad has never allowed his own love. If he allowed your love, which is the reflection of the love he never allowed himself to feel, it might be too much for him to handle in the moment. The grief would come up. He'd realize, I'm worthy of love? Really? He can't be a receiver until he understands his worth. And I want you guys to take that in because that's with everything. You notice you love people and they don't love you back. They're not feeling worthy of your love. It's not that you're unworthy to be received. It's a backwards thing. Think about it. I can think back 10 years or 11 years or 12 years ago when I wasn't able to receive the love from certain people. And the stories I would tell myself about that were hilarious because once I got to this deep sense of self-love and I was open to receiving all the love that didn't feel right before because I didn't vibrate with the level of their love they had for me, they loved me more than I loved myself. People have loved me in my life more than I've loved myself, I will be honest. And now that I deeply and completely love myself, I see that love, I trust that love, and I honor that love from the past. And it sinks into your heart and you expand and it's beautiful. And we have to see from this perspective, I was that person, so I'm telling you the truth. When people do not receive your love, it's because they do not love themselves enough. And that's hard to believe, but it is true. So what I don't want you to do is stop loving yourself because of that. I want you to love yourself more and keep loving them because at least you leave your heart open. And then we can start changing those stories around, it's my fault and I'm shame and I'm all these things because no one loves me. No, people don't love you because they can't love who they are. It's a huge part of this lesson. So when we start supporting ourselves, our true divine self, we start seeing dad in his potential. What are the good things about dad before his wounding? What are the good things about mom before her wounding? Instead of taking on their wounding as your identity, let that go and see their potentials and know that that is your essence. The truth of who you are. You were born unwounded, by the way, because the universe, Father, Mother, God, made you that way. This world is what damages people. This world is what wounds people. So your identity around your wounds is not your true self. And as soon as you get into that truth of who you are, the universe supports people who support the truth of who they are. The universe is a reflection of you, this unconditional love. If you don't receive the unconditional love, there's work to do. When you do understand who you are, you'll receive it and you'll see the support system that's always been there to reflect the truth of you. When you're in your ego or your false self and you're protecting that, you won't feel the protection of the universe because it's reflecting the truth, not the wounding. Take that in. So you guys, if you're not a member of my Truth Room, please check it out if any of this resonated with you today and join our amazing group from all over the world. If you are interested in one of my 12-week courses, they are launching in September for a start date of October 1st. Emotional Rehab is healing inner child wounds, emotional wounds, and shifting relationship dynamics. Shadow work, please do emotional rehab first. Shadow work is tribal wounds, mother wounds, father wounds, and reclaiming the power within you to attract your highest calling and purpose. We're rising up to higher love today, you guys. Thank you for being with me. Please share this video with at least one person you think it might resonate with. Please subscribe if you haven't already, because I really appreciate it. If you're a Patreon member, the worksheets will be coming soon in that membership. Check all links below. I love you guys so much, and have a good week.